find here in functions, the CEOs, they bring their wives, the senior managers, they bring in their wives. I know you are a PA, you're a personal assistant to the CEO.
Not on that night.
But on that night, Mrs. CEO
is there.
Respect the space.
Even if you find a speck on his shirt.
Don't touch.
Don't be playing in those areas.
Yeah.
You see, I think it will be important for someone to watch all the previous episodes that we have done. I feel like you can't just come from nowhere. That's one of the things that I'm saying.
What I'm about to say. It's like sometimes even you might feel like maybe these episodes that we're doing, we're always focusing on the employee side, how you should fix yourself, whatnot. But that's the reality of life.
If you want to get paid.
Like you just need to understand.
It's not your company.
It's not your company. So we're not trying to say it's only employees who are wrong, but we're trying to say the person that has to change is you because of the bargaining power.
So then question, guys, I've seen this so many times. It's literally for some of these places it's a template.
Yeah.
Being thrown under the bus, like in front, literally in the presence of the people. You're in a session, you're in a meeting, and this could be a situation. It could
with
be an
no warning sign.
Yes, and it could be colleague to colleague. And what are some of the emotional responses there? I'm now in a setting. I'm being thrown under the bus either by my boss or by my colleague, and now there's rising conflict, obviously, as a result of some of that. How do I go about some of those things?
Yeah, I think the issue is what I've noticed most people when they are thrown under the bus is their reactions in that time. I think the way you react matters. Right?
Your first reaction.
Your first response. Right?
Public response.
So there's a way you have to, because especially if your boss and there are also other senior people who are there, and if you have, so also emotional intelligence or just being smart is you need to know who's in the room. And you need to determine, is the fight worth it? And is it going to go anywhere? But if there are key stakeholders where you know that I don't necessarily meet with these and I'm not going to be able to state my case. To defend myself. There you can't just take it. But you need to put it in a way that you show that you are at a high level mentally and emotionally without throwing a ruckus or throwing a fit, because many times people throw a fit. So for example, if they say that you did this, so you answer to your boss in a nice manner. Oh no, I think maybe I might not have understood what you had said, but you know what I did.
I take them through.
You take them. This is how I came through. If I'm wrong, then I definitely take responsibility. But you make it in a manner that you don't also put your boss under the bus. It's not about putting under the bus.
It's about you're defending yourself without putting the other one under the bus.
Yes. If anything, almost like throwing it back in their court.
Throw it in back in the court, and then if you see that it's going in a weird direction that you can't control, it's fine. We can take it offline.
Okay.
And then you move it offline. But especially if there are key stakeholders, because one thing I know about executives, they are in the business of seeing how we deal with those situations. It's not unique to an executive that someone can be thrown in the bus.
It's actually exciting to see
so they want
how
to see
you're going to handle it.
To say the way they handle this person shows them a level of understanding and a level of emotional intelligence.
By the time you're done, it probably won't even be about the mistake you made. It will be about how you handle
the situation. It's always how you handle.
Point,
so that's one of the things that I would really, really encourage you Don't fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
In certain battles where you know that it's just your boss and they're like that, you don't really have to defend yourself. You can always take it offline. But if there are key stakeholders where you know that
this could be a career,
this can be a career-ending move, you definitely have to really show that you're willing. It just gives you an ability to, first of all, you diffuse the situation. You move out. You don't. When you do that, you diffuse the situation. You take a lot of responsibility when you have done that.
And you calm down the next person.
You calm down the next person. And also the thing is, you then, once you have done that, you take away attention from the problem. And then you are then given audience to say your side of the story. But people who are very defensive, already people are thinking that you have something to hide. But if you take a level of responsibility, because most leaders, they want people who take responsibility. Because they also, in their journey in life, they've also taken responsibility. So there's nothing wrong.
Yes, they know that these things happen.
They know that these things happen, but it's the way we handle it. Because to them, the way you handle that, they know that if we were to find a difficult situation where we have deadlines and things can go
they know how you're going to handle
it. They know that you have this mental aptitude, you have this elasticity in your mind that you can handle pressure. Because you remember, there's all of the things that they ask you in the interviews. Can you handle pressure?
And we're all like, I work well
under pressure.
I thrive.
Not even work well, thrive.
I know, I thrive under pressure. Okay. No, I get it.
Question then for you, for the both of you. What do you have to say about corporates that, push forward this, be yourself culture, be honest, be open at all times. This is a family. Be at home.
It's like
called emotional intelligence.
They
are applying emotional intelligence.
Like when you go to your aunt's place, as a visitor, like feel free. The pantry is yours.
The pantry is yours.
Yes. But
they don't mean go there, open, take whatever.
Open their condensed milk and open their bacon and cook their oxtail. That's not what they are saying. That's not what they are saying. They are just saying, listen, go for the bread, the peanut butter, and the
bare minimum.
Don't go for the oxtail. Don't go for the oxtail.
Not the king clip.
You're now going for the king clip and the sushi. That's not what they are saying. Everything has boundaries, so you just have to know your boundaries.
So we don't believe the be yourself.
It's a balance. It's a balance. They are also applying emotional intelligence by saying that. So it's really a balance within reason. Everything is within
I like
reason.
That. It's always within reason.
And I think to their point as well, you never want to forget who's actually in charge. I think
that's huge. That's huge.
I think sometimes you can be lured to think that,
because they can be so persuasive. Like, tell me all your...
Not your party.
Not your party, girl.
Not your party. You can throw your own outside. It's very tempting. We go out to dinner.
Very nice chap, very honest.
I think it's one of those things where you just have to learn. Just like, for example, some of the craziest things that we see, that, for example, it's a year-end function.
It's one of the biggest dilemmas.
So you will find year-end functions. The CEOs, they bring their wives. The senior managers, they bring in their wives. I know you are a PA. You're a personal assistant to the CEO.
Not on that night.
But on that night, Mrs. CEO
is there.
Respect the space.
Even if you find a speck on his shirt.
Don't touch.
Don't be playing in those areas. Because I tell you, Monday morning, there's some firing, some loosing and binding that's happening. Because you have clients who then want to show, even to everybody, even to the Miss CEO, that I'm the PA. They are running. Do you want anything, Dave? Dave, what can I do for you?
Not even Mr.
Run his schedule.
Yeah. I've got something for you, Dave. It's really nice. You should come in, and the wife is looking. I mean, that emotional intelligence tells you, stay away. I would rather...
It's just one night.
It's
just one night. And emotional intelligence will tell you, rather play with Mrs. Dave.
Dave,
Dave.
What comes first?
and checking their kids. I mean,
Yeah.
that's emotional intelligence. If you're in
Because
that
that will
space.
actually score you more
More
points.
yeah.
Because if she likes you,
Yeah.
you know, that is literally,
Yeah.
even at a point where he's mad at you, she could be on your side.
On your side, yeah.
You get what I'm
Which is
saying?
such a big
yeah.
Ah, but that's a good one.
On the note of year-end functions, I think another common one is just the drinking thing.
Oh my
you know?
God.
Yeah.
So now your
People are
executives
too
drinking,
lax.
Yeah. Have you seen the dancing?
It's just like,
Yes.
what? It just happened.
I've had places where people were charged
They
for
go
dancing.
viral on social media.
People are charged for dancing. And because remember now,
Do they get charged?
Yeah.
you are charged. I've had cases where someone
Yeah.
was because
Yeah.
the way you are dancing. Remember, Mrs. CEO and the Mrs. Directors, the wives of the directors.
Even
are
if
there.
they are not there, the fact that you make them uncomfortable
Yes,
is a
yes.
problem.
Yes.
to be an
Sure.
issue.
Exactly. Even the fact that you make them uncomfortable.
Because they
you're actually
don't know
right.
what to do.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. They don't want to look, and you're making it very,
Very awkward for them.
for them.
So no opening of circles, is that what we're saying?
No, we're not saying that.
If they
Just
open the
saying
circle, but even everything has to be
within
It
reason.
must be decent and in order. Everything must be because
At
the
all
company policy is
times.
still at work.
At all times.
Decent and in order.
The company policy is still in work, so you have to make sure that you do. I remember there was a client where it was a year-end function, and then this organization is huge.
Huge, yeah.
And then,
like
so then
multi-
obviously, as a CEO, you try and you act like you know everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Because that's the one time you get to connect with everyone.
People,
you know.
yes, Palesa, yeah.
And then, for some reason, the CEO then reaches to this client and then he says, "Hey, how are you?" Obviously, you have to be diplomatic.
Yes.
And then the client was just saying, "Yeah, I'm okay." Says, "Okay." "Oh, it's been long." And the CEO says, "It's been long," because obviously the client was just standing there.
Yeah.
"It's been long. I haven't seen you." Says, "Seen me from where?"
Oh my goodness.
The awkwardness.
"What is my name?"
My
Absolutely no need
You
to
say you
face that
know me.
awkwardness.
Made the ground just
So you're a CEO and you don't even know your employees.
Imagine,
So why are
in
you
front
saying-
of everyone.
You see, it was
Why you going
very
to town
awkward for the
at
CEO.
year-end?
He was just trying to be friendly.
Oh my gosh.
So even the people who were around him were like,
Like,
oh,
oh my
oh
God.
word, what's happening here?
nothing they can
Let's
do to
whisk him
save
away. Let's
him.
whisk him
No,
away. Let's take him
yeah.
now. Let's take him now. Next thing, did a small mistake.
Gone.
And they won't charge you for making CEO
They
uncomfortable.
won't charge you for making
They'll
CEO.
find
They'll
something.
just
Yeah.
look when you don't file in your reports on time.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah,
That's what they're going to do.
Or you came at 10 a.m. and left at 2.
Exactly.
They ask for your
Yeah.
prologue, the one
Yeah,
that
when
where
you tag in.
and take
Yes.
out.
And they'll be
And we all make those
That
come on.
actually
Like,
happened.
So that's
That
emotional
happened.
intelligence.
Yeah.
yeah.
You could have just played along.
Oh,
even
yeah,
if you know
nice.
that this person does
Listen.
not know. Even if they say, how are the kids when you don't have kids? You don't have
just
to make it.
answer.
Oh,
Like, perfect.
perfect. Oh, awesome. You move away.
Yeah.
Like, what does it take away from you? You know?
Yes, I'm really getting from what you guys are saying that like emotional intelligence also a part of it. It's just picking your battles.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
not
Correct.
like you know when you have to invest
Yeah.
yourself into an altercation or even or conflict.
Yeah.
Because that is so unnecessary.
And don't fight up.
Yeah.
Don't fight up. It's
Yeah.
not good. It's,
It's
not
not.
good for you.
It's
You
a
can't
losing
fight
battle.
up.
Yeah.
It's a losing battle.
It's a losing battle. Because they get to be in meetings that you are
You're
not.
not.
You see, that's the challenge.
Yeah.
So emotional intelligence is very important. It is important.
It's very important.
And I really know, I've seen that a lot of people are struggling with that.
Because we are not taught. Like, you have to self-teach.
It literally-
through
yeah.
experiences that you didn't have to go
Unnecessary,
through
you know?
to get there.
Even correction. There's a
Yeah.
way you correct your leader.
Yeah.
What's the emotionally intelligent way of
You
correcting
correct it in a
leaders?
diplomatic
Good
way.
way.
To say,
And
"I
in
was
private,
thinking-
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
Don't say
it's a
that's wrong.
suggestion.
I suggest this is the way. Maybe
I
you should
suggest.
just look at
Yeah.
it better.
Yeah.
And even when you have a way of work that you want maybe leadership to look at,
Yeah.
if you see that you are getting a hard no,
Yeah.
if you see that it's a hard no, don't
Don't
fight
push
hard
for
no.
that.
Especially
Don't
if you've
push.
suggested a couple of times. Don't keep
Yes.
Don't
pressing.
keep at it.
Because the truth is, you
But-
can tell also
Yeah,
with
you
the
can
tone
tell.
of the no.
The tone
How
gets
If it's too
more
firm, you know.
emphasized.
If
a
it's
bit
too
firm.
firm,
You know.
yes.
And if you still are
And just
strong-willed and you say,
retract.
no, this is the best direction that the company must take in, motivated.
Yeah.
And you go and get a buy-in and find
And
something
don't
that
skip
you can
levels. I know when people don't get agreement at a certain level, they go higher.
Then they go to their
Yes.
boss's boss.
It's not smart to
Not
do that.
smart.
No,
and
your
the
boss
thing
is more
is,
valuable.
those CEOs, they have high emotional intelligence. They will act like they are on your side,
And
until
yet-
the day you are charged.
Yeah.
That's where you see that they
This person
follow
was never on
protocol.
my side.
Yes.
They follow protocol
and
to
that
the
they
follow
saw what
protocol.
you were doing, even if they
All
didn't tell
along.
you.
Because that
Yes.
person, the CEO in their mind, they are saying, this is the person that I have appointed as a
Yes.
CEO.
Yeah.
So if you are fighting them,
You're
it means that
fighting me.
automatically you're fighting me. Because I appointed, I trust them that they will be able to do the work.
Yeah.
So if you are fighting them, indirectly, you're fighting me.
And even if they genuinely like you and believe in what you're doing, they are not gonna go down from up there to come
Yeah.
and deal with issues
little
from down
thing.
here.
It's
the
not
peripheries.
worth. It's not worth it. For
Time
them.
not worth
and
it.
effort,
There are times some of these people
Even
is
if their
worth
loved
10,000.
ones
Even
to
if-
hear that,
hear that
he's going
he's
in the
going-
peripheries, in the department.
Apartments to so it doesn't look
Doesn't
right.
make sense, yeah.
Sure.
So then here I am. I'm unskilled in the area of emotional intelligence. For various, my background is not on my side. How do I set myself up? What do I do from this point forward?
You literally have to find a coach. You need someone who can teach you.
Especially if you're really struggling.
If you're really struggling, you need people who can help you because if your emotions are high, your thinking will always be low.
Low.
And you make many mistakes. That's why you
Mistakes.
find most of these guys, they resign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They quickly resign.
Yeah.
Their emotions are pressed and they quickly resign.
Yes.
And then they want to take the company on. But
But
they
you
have not. You
resigned.
resigned. You did not, do the proper process. So you really need someone, to help you. in
Now
terms
that
of
you're
doing
saying that, I'm realizing like a lot of execs have coaches,
They do.
and that's not because they have some disability in any sense. Like they just have a lifetime wherein I'm not going to therapy because I'm going through stuff.
Yeah.
I just have a coach. Period. Like I do
Yeah.
life with this coach.
Yeah, it's not like you're going through stuff when you have a coach. Yeah.
No, and it's particularly for this reason, and no wonder these guys go far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, coaching is
Because
key.
coaches, I don't know, but they have a way of, like you're saying, it's not, because even when I don't have an issue, say
Yeah.
I've dealt with the issues I'm aware of,
Yes.
but I'm still going through coaching, they have a way of identifying blind spots, they have a way of, and things you might not realize good actually. But yeah, it's a key thing. If you can have one,
Get one.
get
one.
one.
So essentially, then for professionals coming up now, remove the stigma against getting professional help to deal with yourself.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you're the worst person who's ever lived. You're just trying to set yourself up for a brighter future.
I mean, the best players in the world, your Ronaldos or your Messis, your LeBrons,
Coach.
they have coaches.
Coaches.
They're the best,
Coach.
but they have coaches.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm remembering Simone Biles before breaking this record that she just broke. That morning, she said she was in therapy.
Sure.
It's
she was
key,
literally-
guys.
It's key,
She was in
because-
It's
therapy
not
that
easy.
morning.
The environments are not easy,
Wow.
guys. The higher you go, it's not easy. It's not like being, when you entered corporate, it's like I get into my work, I'm out, and what? It's not easy. It's really, the pressure is mounting.
Yeah.
You need some form of support.
It's high
You need
pressure.
proper support.
You need
It's-
support.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
That should be one of
Yeah.
the things that
Yeah.
people, I would really encourage people
And
to
if you
invest.
can't afford a coach, a professional coach, there are people are good at these things around you.
Yeah.
If you have a community,
Yeah.
a church, if you have at your
internet.
netball club, you have a
Yeah.
community of people who care about you and want to see you win, make use of that.
And I think prevention is better than cure, because
Yeah.
I've actually noted that most of the time when people start trying to get help at these wards, institutions, it's already late.
Too late, yes.
So much damage.
So much damage has already
At
happened.
this point,
And
you must
now
start
your
the backlog.
confidence
At this
is
point,
messed
you
up.
really have to resign and find a new job.
You
Literally.
see. But you see, the problem is most of these clients I'm now having is situations where, I help this client for this case, they go to the next employer, they have another issue.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
They are reoccurring.
So it
because
shows you that if you don't deal with it,
if
you're
you
gonna
don't
take
deal-
it everywhere.
You take yourself everywhere.
You are the common
Yes, you are the
You are
denominator.
the common denominator. And the same issues are gonna be
You
triggered.
do know mathematics, you see?
A little bit.
Not that
So I think those things are key. You know, there are things that you should never do.
To what extent do you think like insecurities feeds into, you know, lack of emotional intelligence?
I think
Do
it
you
does.
think people that are most insecure are
Most
less
people who have
emotionally intelligent?
low self-esteem, they can't harness their emotions. So they take anything, even a correction in good faith, as someone who's attacking them. You see, because they themselves, they don't feel confident in themselves. You know, so you have to have, people who have high IQ, they are confident in themselves. When someone criticizes them, they don't take it personally. They say, no, it's actually a room, an opportunity for me to improve, to become better. They always see themselves as, they always see life in a different direction. To say there are opportunities for me to become better. I'm not a failure. But when people have low emotional intelligence, they just think people are attacking them.
And they behave from that understanding. Which just makes it worse.
Even when someone means well, they can't take any form of criticism or anything, or they don't like people who have dissenting views.
And sometimes it's also, it's not all the time, but I've noticed sometimes it's because like it's a reflection of who you are. I've seen people who are managers that always think like that as well, that someone is attacking them. But that's because you treat your subordinates like that, that you feel like you automatically think that your manager is treating you like that. But that's not the case. It's just a reflection of what's going on inside of you. And you think everyone is thinking like that, you know? So
there's a quote, I cannot remember who it's by, but it just says, we don't see the world as it actually is. We see the world as we are.
Exactly.
So your level of brokenness, that's how, you know, that's the lens that you use.
That's the lens you use.
And I think we have to calm, you know, because with the people, I've noticed many a times, people are not willing to take responsibility. We blame people for our fault, for our problems. You know, so you must be willing to take responsibility. It's one of the things that will help you when you know that, you know, I'm not perfect. You know, I'm a working vessel. I will improve on this. These are what my colleagues have raised. This is what my manager has raised. I'm willing to work on that. That helps you in terms of...
that really helps. And just recognizing that, I think for me, that's like personally one thing that I think has helped me a lot in corporate. It's something he really taught me and he fostered it. We fought many times with him trying to grind it in me. But it's the fact that in every conflict, you had a part to play. So it's always trying, it doesn't matter how right or how wrong the other person was, but you had a part in that conflict.
So own it.
And own it, So it's always, it actually makes you a better person. Every conflict, every situation, you're trying to see, okay, which was my part? How can I turn this around? Like it's just taking responsibility, but the whole thing of just pointing fingers all the time does not help you. It doesn't help you to grow. It doesn't. And you know, when you're doing that, you shouldn't even be expecting the next person to recognize they're wrong. Like it's about your growth. It's about you. You don't know how much muscle it's building in you, but it actually is. So
that is so profound.
You know, this issue of being what is this, offense ready, like trigger ready. Like you're just ready to go at any moment.
At any moment.
And I think it's part of what Paul is saying. When you get to work through yourself, you realize some of those, you know, trigger areas. So what are the things that get you going? One person saying one thing about your presentation,
it's a thing. It's a thing. And it was from a good point. It's a thing.
Yes.
And already, for me, you know, to be honest, I think I see the link between that trigger ready or offense ready and insecurities. Because it's almost like you're so scared of being found out.
Exactly.
Someone's gonna
so you're defending, you're already in defense mode. That's so true.
So really, you're just afraid that someone is gonna confirm what you already
It's exactly what you said. You were saying the problem is the lens. Like
Yes.
sometimes those things happen and you're like, this person just doesn't like me. Like sit down and try and understand why would
do
you think
someone
that
doesn't
they
like
don't
you?
like,
That is
they have a
correct.
problem with you. Why? You think when you look at yourself, you're like, then you realize it's how you see yourself. Because
Yeah,
when you sit down and you look and you say, I'm a good person, I do this, I do that, why would you think someone else wouldn't like you? Right?
So essentially, be secure
Yeah.
in your value as a
Yes.
person.
It's basically working on yourself, guys. It's not about changing the situations around. It's about changing you, and everything will conform to that. You'll be able to handle everything else. So yeah.
Because I imagine that even the example that Tate gave earlier about the person that was just, speaking to the CEO and he was like,
Yeah.
okay, you know me from where? I mean, where does that come from? That can only
Yes.
stem from
So
a
trigger
state
already.
of insecurity.
Yeah.
Like you want to be recognized.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one's recognizing
you.
what?
Yeah,
Shame.
yeah.
No?
So it seems to me, and you can confirm
Yeah.
if we're correct or not, but being secure, it is important if you're going to be
It's a
emotionally
superpower.
intelligent
It's a
in a
superpower.
It's a
space.
superpower. Many people when they go for interviews, they say they are confident, I'm, secure. But when it really comes
Comes
to
to,
those
yeah.
spaces, those are the things that they are looking for. You must be able to be willing to deal with yourself, and
Yeah.
because I think it's a space. Corporate is a space of developing to become the best version of yourself. And
It's
sometimes
a good opportunity to work on yourself, to be honest.
and many a times you are getting it from people who are very objective,
Very.
who are not like your
Yeah.
mom and dad, who are just going to say you're doing
Yeah,
well.
or
they're
your
doing well,
husband
you're
at
gonna
home.
do-" That's why you find those issues. When people go on idols, and they are the worst
We're singers, and they're like, I know I'm the best singer. I'm like, so no one told you at home.
This person, are you telling me that this person, no one from their family
Told them that they can't
this
sing.
is not a career you should follow. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys had something to glean on from today's session.
Yeah.
And yeah, guys, let us
I
know
didn't
what
want
you
it to
think.
end.
Yes, I think we'll hear from the comment sections what you think
Yeah.
about
Let us
emotional
know, let us
intelligence.
know.
Should we do a
Yeah.
2.0 emotional intelligence? But I think we really had fun tonight. Thank you so
Yeah.
much, pals. Thank you,
Yeah.
the crew behind the
Yeah.
crew, for having this
Yeah.
amazing session. So yeah, guys, remember to share, to
Yeah.
like, to
Yeah.
subscribe. And
Yeah.
if you have not already done that, please put the notification button. Just press
Yes.
it there so that you can get more updates from this
Yeah.
podcast. From me and the crew, we say ciao, ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.